Hello everybody, my name is Brandon. Welcome back to the channel. I'm here today with another collection update, and this time around we're talking about some of the books that I grabbed in March of 2021. So back in February, you guys know if you watched that video, I only picked up like 4 different books, but they were pretty cool books. It was just a low number. So I more than made up for that in March here. I have about 20 books to talk about, 19 of them in the physical form and then 1 in an ebook form. So I am really excited to share with you guys what I was able to find. There is some middle grade, some graphic novels in here, so it kind of runs the gamut through a bunch of different genres and everything. So very excited to share with you guys what I ended up picking up during the month of March. So let's not waste any time at all. Let's dive right in. So I'm going to start off with the ebook, and I didn't actually purchase this one. This one was given to me by the author in order to hopefully, if nothing else, I'll showcase it here. Hopefully I will be able to get to this sometime soon and then give you guys my full thoughts on it. But this is written by Michael Lachman, and it's called Blackcoats, Dead Man Walking. So this one sounds really interesting, something I will likely enjoy. Basically, our main character, Adam, he comes home one day and discovers that his father was a scientist in specializing in paranormal and kind of the fringe sciences, I guess. And it turns out he has been manipulating Adam's DNA, but he's missing at this point. And so the only way for Adam to continue living, for him to survive, is to help track down his father. So it sounds like something right up my alley, like some of the zombies, cryptids, secret government agencies, and Adam thought high school was tough. That's the tagline here. So this one sounds like something I'll probably enjoy, which is why I did decide to accept this as an arc. I don't know if this one is out yet, so I have to look that up when I actually go to read it. But yeah, thank you again to Michael. I really appreciate you sending this my way. I'm really excited to get to this one. So if you guys are interested, if this sounds good, definitely check this out. I know it's on Amazon because I was just looking at it there a few minutes ago. So check it out if it sounds interesting. So the only ebook I ended up getting this month is called Blackcoats, Dead Man Walking, and it's written by Michael Lachman. From there, let's move on to some of the middle grade items I grabbed. And this first one was actually in the free bin at 2nd and Charles, which is just my favorite way to get good books. This is another book in the Dead Time Stories series. This is called Invasion of the Appleheads. So I've actually heard that this is a pretty good one in this series, and I got it completely free. It's in really good shape. You gotta love that. I know I have another one in this series, but I don't know what book number it is. And frankly, I don't even know what number this is. But I don't think it matters. I think they're all separate stories, a la Goosebumps, something like that. So yeah, very excited to find this one in the free bin at 2nd and Charles. So Dead Time Stories, Invasion of the Appleheads, and this is written by Annette and Gina Cascone. You guys know I love my Star Wars Galaxy of Fear series, and at this point, I've gone through all the ones I had, so book 7 was next, and my buddy, who has been trying to collect these as well, was nice enough to send me a link to an eBay listing of a cheap book number 7. So I was able to find Star Wars Galaxy of Fear number 7, which you can see somewhere on the spine there, my hand was covering it, book number 7, The Brain Spiders. So this probably has like the best title out of all the 7 books so far that I've collected in the series. But yeah, these are all written by John Whitman. It is one of my favorite middle grade series I've ever read. It is just a fantastic book series. If you're into Goosebumps and you like Star Wars, if you like Animorphs and you like Star Wars, like this is a book series to get. The problem now is that the rest of these tend to be pretty expensive. It is a 12 book series, I believe. And the first 6 books are basically one big arc. And then from what I hear and what I understand, from 7 to 12, they're kind of individual stories that all tie together, of course, but more loosely than the first arc. So honestly, I don't think I'm going to be able to complete this series. Like the last book, my buddy has sent me listings. It's like $300. Like it's ridiculous. I am not paying more than probably 10 to 15 bucks a book. And even that I think is pushing it. So I don't know. Book 7 will likely be my last one, at least for a while, unless I get lucky and find some more at the thrift store or 2nd and Charles. Or if, again, my buddy sends me some new eBay listings that are cheap, then I can grab them that way. But for the meantime, I think book 7 might be the end of it. So we'll see where this goes in my collecting. But if you guys have any idea how I can get books 8 through 12 on the cheap, oh man, please let me know down below. I would really appreciate any tips to get these ones cheap. But yeah, so Star Wars Galaxy of Fear, book number 7, The Brain Spiders by John Whitman. It was an eBay score that I ended up getting in March. If you guys have been following since last year, you know that at one point last year, I ended up getting a big stack of the Ghosts of Fear Street series by R.L. Stine. And so I've been just trying to find more of those in that series so I can complete it. And I did come across one. So this is from Second and Charles. I was able to find the Ghosts of Fear Street, and this is Night of the Werecat. So you can see like these are the different style of cover. So that part was a little disappointing, but hey, as long as I can get all of them in the collection, I'll be happy. And that's another one that's going to be a very difficult task because some of the later, I think it's like the last 2 books in this series are just incredibly hard to find, and when you do, they're super expensive. So I may never complete this, but hey, if I'm going through and can find these cheap, then I'm going to pick them up. So yeah, I had to grab this one. I don't know which number this is because they don't have the number on the spine, but it is, I believe, one of the later ones in the Ghosts of Fear Street series. So yeah, interested. I have not actually read any of these books yet from this series, and they're all ghost written. So R.L. Stine did not actually write this series, which is a little disappointing, but eventually I will get through it. But yeah, so Ghosts of Fear Street, Night of the Werecat, written by R.L. Stine, sort of, kind of, another one for my Ghosts of Fear Street collection. There is one Barnes & Noble that's out near my parents' house that has a used book section. It's the only Barnes & Noble I've ever been to that has a used book section, but it's one of my favorites to go to because of that, because you can often find really good deals when they're used. So I got really lucky when I went there this past month because they had a whole stack of Goosebump books. In fact, I had to put some back because there were so many. I don't remember exactly how much I paid for these. I want to say it was between $1 and $2, maybe $1.50 to $2.50, something like that, but I got a whole bunch here, so we'll go through these all at once. These are all from the original Goosebumps series. That's what I tried to stick to when I was figuring out which ones to filter out. But they were all ones I didn't have, and they all seem to be in pretty good condition. So in no particular order, we have Say Cheese and Die with just that iconic cover here. I read this one maybe a year or two ago, and it's a pretty good one. I really like this, so happy to find this one. And this isn't the original cover, but it's closer to the original than the rest of these that you're going to see. So keep that in mind as we go through here. You'll know as we go if you're a Goosebumps fan. But the next one here is The Abominable Snowman of Pasadena. I don't think I've read any of these other ones yet, but this is one that I remember when it came out, because this is one of the later ones in the series. I remember when it came out, looking through like those Scholastic books that you used to get in school when they did the book fairs. This one was one that I always wanted to grab, and I don't think I ever ended up picking it up for whatever reason, but this one, and then actually this next one, A Shocker on Shock Street, they were two that always stood out to me when I was looking through those Scholastic newsletter things, whatever they're called, as ones that I wanted to grab but never did. So now this one is another one that is close to the original cover, but it's not the original. So the rest of these are like the whatever it is, Abominable Snowman of Pasadena. This is The Haunted Mask, probably one of the most iconic Goosebumps books in the series. Unfortunately, this cover is very lacking compared to the original, which is quite iconic. So it is what it is. I have the book. I'm happy with that. And then we have The Ghost Next Door, which this one is the one I believe the first Goosebumps film is based off of, which I think is awesome. I love that movie. So excited to have that one in the collection. And then we have The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, another really good one. And this one, frankly, I may have read. I can't remember. I know I read one of the Mummy ones. I know, I think it was Return of the Mummy. Might have been the one I read. I think it was maybe last year or 2 years ago. But happy to have that in there. And then last but not least, we have Vampire Breath, which this was always one that eluded me as well. I never owned it, but it always sounded interesting, looked interesting, so was happy to get this. And I think this one has a pretty good cover, even though it is one of the like newer released covers. The only thing I don't like about these, which I'll show you guys, is that if you take a look at the spine, there is no numbers on the spine, and that really bugs me because some of the books, they're going to look identical to like this style, but they're actually from like the Horrorland series or Goosebumps 2000 series, whatever. They don't include that on there, which I find very annoying. So that's why I had to have I had my phone. I was going through Wiki as I had all the books stacked up on a table, trying to figure out which ones I was going to get and which ones I was going to pass on. So yeah, very happy that I walked into that Barnes & Noble that day because I rarely find Goosebump books there. So now that I was able to grab all of these, you bet I'm going to be back sometime again soon just to see if there's any more available. So all of these Goosebumps books used in great shape. They don't have the original covers, but they're in very good shape. So happy to add all of these to the middle grade Goosebumps collection. This next one I actually got from Ollie's, and I was really excited to find it because I read this book last year on audiobook, and though it wasn't my favorite from this combination of Stephen King and hard case crime, I still enjoyed it, so I was happy to add it, and it has just an iconic cover. Like, that is awesome. I love these covers so much. But this is Stephen King's The Colorado Kid, and actually there is a brand new hard case crime book written by Stephen King that just came out a couple weeks ago, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, called Later. So I will definitely be adding that one to my collection soon. But this one here is, I guess it's kind of like a mystery. It's what happened to the Colorado Kid, which is this guy who kind of randomly showed up dead. And they're trying to figure out, or I guess we're not really trying to figure out what happened to him, but we're following local reporters who are telling the story about the Colorado Kid. So again, wasn't my favorite of the 2 Stephen King hard case crime books I've read, but I still enjoyed it. And again, that cover is worth it alone. So happy to add the hard case crime book, The Colorado Kid, to the collection. And this one was only like $2.99, so you can't beat that price. I guess we'll stick with Ollie's and transition into the graphic novels. So I got a couple of these from Ollie's. The first one here is Red Hulk, and this is a Jeff Loeb book. So this one I don't really know too much about. I'll show you some of the art in here as we flip through it. But I am a big fan of the Hulk character. I've read like World War Hulk, Hulk, Planet Hulk, things like that. I've enjoyed those when I read them. So I figured I would pick this one up. It was super cheap again, like maybe $4 or $5. So I figured I would give it a shot. So interested to see what this is. I think there's actually I don't know if there's 2 Hulks in here fighting against each other. I have no idea, but, well, it kind of looks like it on the back here. So, yeah, looks interesting, and it was a volume 1, which is, you don't always find those at Ollie's, so I was happy to pick it up for the cheap price that it was. So, Red Hulk, written by Jeff Loeb, and the art is by Ed McGuinness. So, yeah, very excited to check this one out when I get around to it. And the last one I grabbed from Ollie's is another graphic novel, and this is just got me written all over it. I love what this is. I love the movie that this is an adaptation of. So this is a graphic novel adaptation of Django Unchained, which is just a phenomenal Quentin Tarantino film. I love it. It is, I don't know that I call it my favorite, but it is definitely one of my favorites. So this is adapted by a whole bunch of people listed there. And so I am really intrigued to check this one out. I guess I took the price off of this, but I think this was only like $5 or $6 as well, with a cover price of $24.99, as you can see on the bottom down there. So I will be checking this one out sooner rather than later because I thoroughly love this movie. So very excited to check out the graphic novel that was based on Quentin Tarantino's Django Unchained. So sticking with graphic novels, but moving away from Ollie's, I actually found this next one at the Dollar Tree, and this is one of my better book hauls from the Dollar Tree, because this is a one that I've heard of this one before. I've heard it's really good. It's written by an author that I know. I read, it was either Making Comics, I think it was, or Understanding Comics. That's what it was. Scott McCloud. And frankly, that one wasn't really for me. I feel like both of those books are aimed at people that want a career in comics, which is not really at all what I have an interest in. So they weren't really for me, but I think he's very talented and knows the medium exceptionally well. So I was very happy to find The Sculptor by Scott McCloud. So you can see this is a real chunker. And so the fact that I got this for $1 when it's normally marked at $30 was amazing. I don't even see a remainder mark on this at all. This is just in perfect shape. So you can see here, the art is not black and white, but it's blue and white, so it's very blue and black and white, I guess, but it's very interesting. So yeah, I've heard great things about this graphic novel, so I'm really interested in checking this one out. Basically, this one is about our main character who makes a deal with the devil that to become a sculptor, and then he only has 200 days to live, and it's just kind of how he deals with that. So sounds interesting. I've heard wonderful things. The author is incredibly talented. This was an awesome dollar find. So The Sculptor by Scott McCloud, can't beat it for $1. Speaking of graphic novels for $1, this one wasn't even from the dollar store. This is from Books A Million, and it just happened to be $1 in the clearance bin. This is Ex Machina Tag. So this is actually volume 2. I have had volume 1 of Ex Machina in my collection for the longest time. It was one of the very first graphic novels I ever purchased, and I haven't read it yet, but what are the chances that volume 2 happens to be $1? So of course I picked it up. Looking at some of the art here, it looks really well done. This is a series that I've heard a lot of good things about. It's by Brian K. Vaughan, who frankly, I've not had the best track record with. I know there were a couple things I've read from him that I can't think of the titles right now, and I haven't loved them, but hopefully this one will be an exception. We'll see. And for $1, of course, I'm going to grab this. Like, that's ridiculous. So yeah, good condition, graphic novel, brand new, $1. Yeah, I'm picking it up. Ex Machina, Volume 2, written by Brian K. Vaughan, called Tag. All right, we're down to our last 4, and all 4 of these were from my local used bookstore. So these are, I'm just really excited about these. So let's start with this one. This is a novelization, and this is called Mutant Chronicles, and this was written by Matt Forbeck. So you can see on the bottom there, it is based on the screenplay by whoever wrote it, Philip Eisner. So yeah, I've never seen this movie, but it looks like something I'd probably enjoy. And of course, I had to pick up the novelization for it because that's what I do. But yeah, this looks awesome. I have heard of this movie before, but I've never seen it. So if you guys have seen this one, please let me know down in the comments below. Should I pick up the DVD, Blu-ray, whatever? Should I pick this up to watch it before reading this? Or is this one maybe not worth my time? Let me know down in the comments below. But yeah, happy to have this one in my collection. And you can actually see it has Hellboy himself right there. Oh my God, whose name is just escaping my mind right now. So Ron Perlman, my goodness. So it has Ron Perlman, has Thomas Jane in it. I think John Malkovich is in this one. So it has a really good cast. So hopefully this one will be pretty good, and I'm hoping that the novelization will be just as fun. So Mutant Chronicles, written by Matt Forbeck, another one for the novelization collection. These next 2 are both Star Trek books, and frankly, I've kind of boxed up all my Star Trek books because I just don't see myself getting to them anytime soon. But I've had a couple of these on my my wish list for quite a while now, and so the fact that I stumbled on them at my local store, which these were new because I go there not all the time, but usually about once a month just to see what they have. And these were never there before, but this is a Star Trek Next Generation book. This is called Encounter at Farpoint, and this is basically like book 0 of the Star Trek Next Generation series of books. So this is the first one to read in that series, and I believe this is actually an adaptation of one of the episodes of the show, I believe. I might be wrong. I'm not a Star Trek expert by any stretch, but yeah, very happy to have this one in the collection, and it is one I've been searching for the longest time, and it is in just like mint condition. So I was so happy to find this one. So Star Trek The Next Generation, Encounter at Farpoint, and this is written by David Gerrold. And then let's move right over to another Star Trek book, and this is one that I was so excited for because it's one that I've had on my wish list for a while. I've seen it on eBay, but it was a little more than I wanted to pay, so I found it here for this would have been $2.50, I guess, and it's actually 3 books in one. So this is Star Trek, all written by Alan Dean Foster, and these are what are they called? Log 1, Log 2, and Log 3. So these are actually adaptations of the Star Trek animated series, I believe. So this was a really cool find. Again, 3 books in one, and they're all it's basically just all novelizations of the animated series. And like I said, you can see it right there. It says based on the popular animated series created by Gene Roddenberry. So yeah, very excited for this one. I think there are more in this series. I don't remember exactly how many, and it doesn't say right offhand here, but I know there's maybe 2 more books like this that collect 3 together. But yeah, so this was an awesome find, super cheap, and one that I've wanted for quite a while. So Star Trek Log 1, Log 2, and Log 3, all written by Alan Dean Foster, is the other Star Trek book that I was able to find at my local used bookstore. So we have one more book to show you, and I am super excited about this one because it's Star Wars based. This one was written by Kevin J. Anderson, who is very well known as a Star Trek writer, and Daniel Wallace. So this is just kind of one of those things that feels like it was made specifically for me, which is always fun to find. But this is Star Wars: The Essential Chronology. So this is the definitive history of the Star Wars franchise. But this, of course, is pre-Disney buyout. So this is from 2000, I believe, is when I looked it up, which, of course, yes. Where is it? Yep, 2000. So this is, again, before Disney. So this is looking at all what are now the Legends line, everything that was released before 2000, of course. And it gives you just like a chronology of everything. It looks like it talks like in detail about what happens in these books. So there's all these illustrations. Like, this is just awesome. awesome. So I love like list books like this. And then the fact that it just mixes in like one of my favorite things right now with Star Trek, or rather Star Wars. This is so cool. So you can see kind of the table of contents. It lists everything in chronological order throughout the universe. This is just, I was so happy to find this. And this one actually still has the price tag on it. This was the most expensive book I've ever bought at my local used bookstore, but it was still only like $9. So I looked this one up on Amazon before I bought it, and like there's nothing. You can't even find it on Amazon. So I didn't check eBay or anything like that because I'm not interested in reselling it at this point. I was just curious how much it was if I decided to pass on it, but I couldn't find it at all. So I figured, you know what, I might not get another chance at this because it was like highlighted on the top shelf, not, you know, it wasn't spine facing out, it was the full cover. So I figured this one might go pretty quickly. So I'd never seen this one there before, so it has to be one of their newer ones or just something they had in the back. But again, this is just like made for me. I love books like this. So Star Wars, The Essential Chronology, which talks about all of the Legends books up into 2000. So basically, you know, the release of episode 1. Yeah, this is so cool. Very excited to find, or to like dive into this one a little bit more to see what I've missed out on. So very happy to add this one to the collection. And that is going to wrap up all of the books that I grabbed in the month of March. All right, so there is everything I grabbed in March, from Stephen King to media tie-in to graphic novels to middle grade. This is a wonderful representation of who I am and what I enjoy. So very happy to share this with you guys today. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys have read any of these. What should I prioritize? What's not worth my time? I love having more of a conversation with you guys down there, so please leave those comments down below. And let me know what you guys ended up picking up. I love hearing what you guys grabbed. If you have any haul videos yourself, leave those links down in the comments for others to find as well. I would really appreciate that too. As always, if you guys did enjoy this video, please give it a like down below and consider subscribing to Cinefessions here on YouTube. And if not, well, thank you for watching this one. I really do appreciate that. And like I always say, I don't just talk books, I talk all things media, be it books, movies, video games, graphic novels. If it's media related, I'm interested in it. And if you are too, you might consider subscribing. All right, guys, so that is going to do it for today. I just want to say thank you all so much for watching, and I want to encourage you to consume some media today. I'll catch you next time.